Ferrari, once the undisputed monarch of Formula One, now feels more like the sport's resident clown, tripping over its own feet instead of crossing podium finish lines.
Stay out!
Pit stop horror shows, baffling strategy calls and timing belt tantrums have turned Maranello's prancing horse into the sport's greatest punchline. Even the die-hard tifosi can't ignore this endless parade of Mamma Mia disasters. So buckle up, we're about to rank Ferrari's most face-palm-worthy blunders, from mild cringe to stupid as
That was mega!
Let's go back to Brazil 2014, a year when Ferrari had what might be one of the most frustrating F1 cars in recent memory, the Ferrari F14T. This car had a unique feature. It could understeer and oversteer, sometimes at the same time. Seriously, it was like the car couldn't decide how it wanted to lose control. While the hybrid era was just beginning, and teams like Mercedes were dominating with their new power units, Ferrari seemed to be wandering in the dark. But they still had one ace up their sleeve, Fernando Alonso, a two-time world champion known for dragging bad cars to unexpected results. In qualifying, just as Alonso was preparing for a crucial flying lap, the car suddenly lost all its spark, literally. Turns out, Ferrari had forgotten to charge his battery. Yes, in modern F1, where energy recovery systems are vital, they sent their top driver out with an empty battery. Alonso's response? Just a bewildered, "How is this possible?" His expression said it all. Now these next Ferrari fails are about to hit harder than a blown engine. So don't go anywhere. Tap that like button. Hit subscribe for more unfiltered F1 takes. And drop a comment with your saddest Maranello moment. Let's laugh and cry together. Zandvoort 2022. A pit stop without a wheel. Fast forward to 2022 at the Zandvoort circuit, known for its tight pit lane and sweeping curves. This time, it was Carlos Sainz caught in Ferrari's latest comedy sketch. On lap 15, Sainz was called in for what should have been a routine tyre change, except they forgot one of the tyres. Sainz sat helplessly as the crew scrambled to fetch the missing tyre. The entire stop dragged on for over 12 seconds, ruining his race strategy. And as if that wasn't enough, they also left a tyre gun in the pit lane, which Checo Perez promptly ran over. It was an incredible blend of chaos and carelessness, drawing comparisons to Red Bull's infamous pit stop fail with Daniel Ricciardo years earlier. Sainz battled his way back to 5th place, but his comeback was cut short when Ferrari botched the final stop with an unsafe release, earning him a 5-second penalty and dropping him back to 8th. Two major blunders in a single race. Classic. Brazil 2022, wet weather, dry tyres and no clue back to Brazil again. Because of course Ferrari never disappoints there. This time it was Charles Leclerc caught in the mess. During qualifying, rain was on the radar and teams rushed to send drivers out on slick tyres to beat the downpour. Ferrari, however, sent Leclerc out on intermediate tyre while the track was bone dry. Leclerc quickly realised the mistake, saying over the radio, "Am I the only one on inters?" Yep, he was. By the time Ferrari corrected the error, the red flag came out and Leclerc never got a chance to set a time. He ended the session in 10th, while Kevin Magnussen secured a shocking pole for Haas. You couldn't script it better or worse. Austria 2002, the most famous team order in history. Team orders have always existed in F1, but Ferrari took them to another level in Austria 2002. Rubens Barrichello had dominated the weekend and was seconds away from victory. But in the final corners, he received a soul-crushing message. Let Michael pass for the championship. Barrichello lifted off just before the finish line to hand the win to Michael Schumacher, triggering outrage from fans and the media. The crowd booed, the commentators were stunned, and even Schumacher looked uncomfortable. He tried to let Rubens take the top step of the podium, but the damage was done. Though team orders weren't banned at the time, The backlash led the FIA to outlaw them, at least temporarily. Germany 2010. Fernando is faster than you. Fast forward to Hockenheim in 2010. Felipe Massa was leading the race and everything seemed on track. But then came the infamous message that lives in F1 infamy. Fernando is faster than you. Can you confirm you understood that message? It was painfully obvious what Ferrari meant. Massa had to pull aside and let Alonso through. Another Brazilian driver, another heartbreak. Despite a $100,000 fine for Ferrari, as team orders were illegal at the time, the FIA eventually scrapped the ban altogether the next season. Still, the message lives on as one of the most awkward and criticised moments in modern F1. Abu Dhabi 2010. Losing a title by chasing the wrong rival. The 2010 championship was up for grabs in Abu Dhabi with 4 drivers in the hunt. Alonso led the standings and just needed to finish 4th or higher. Simple, right? Wrong. Red Bull pitted Mark Webber early due to tyre wear, and Ferrari reacted by bringing in Alonso to cover him. But in doing so, they ignored a key factor, traffic. Alonso emerged ahead of Webber, but got stuck behind Renault's Vitaly Petrov, who defended brilliantly lap after lap. Meanwhile, Sebastian Vettel, the driver Ferrari hadn't considered a threat, stayed out, built up a lead, and won the race, snatching the title from Alonso. Ferrari had focused on the wrong Red Bull and lost the championship in the process. It was a strategic error that haunted fans for years. Silverstone 2022, when "Stop Inventing" became a meme. Another recent low point came at the 2022 British Grand Prix. Carlos Sainz started on pole with Leclerc close behind. Things looked promising until Esteban Ocon's car broke down, triggering a safety car. Ferrari chose to pit Sainz for fresh soft tyres, but left Leclerc out on worn hards. Then they gave Sainz the bizarre instruction to hold up the pack and protect Leclerc, leading to his now iconic radio response. "Please don't ask these things. Stop inventing." Sainz ignored the team, overtook Leclerc, and went on to win his first F1 race. Meanwhile, Leclerc got swallowed up by rivals on fresher tyres, falling to 4th. Another masterclass in how to lose with the fastest car. Singapore 2008. A championship lost in the pit lane. Now for a story that's become the stuff of F1 folklore. The 2008 Singapore Grand Prix. Felipe Massa was fighting for the title and looked set for victory when Renault's Nelson Piquet Jr. crashed suspiciously right after teammate Fernando Alonso pitted. This turned out to be the infamous Crashgate scandal, a deliberate crash orchestrated by Renault to manipulate the race. Amid the chaos, Ferrari made a disastrous error. They released Massa with the fuel hose still attached, forcing him to stop in the pit lane and wait while mechanics sprinted after him to remove it. That one moment ruined Massa's race and, in hindsight, cost him the championship. He later won at Interlagos, thinking he had secured the title, only for Lewis Hamilton to clinch 5th in the final corner and beat Massa by a single point. Devastating. Massa eventually filed a legal case in 2023, arguing that the results from the Singapore race should be invalidated due to the scandal. Whether it changes anything remains to be seen. Monaco 2022. The curse of Charles Leclerc. If there's one driver cursed at his home race, it's Charles Leclerc. In 2022, it seemed like the curse might finally be broken when he took pole position. But then came race day and rain. As the track changed from wet to dry, Ferrari's strategy team lost the plot. They pitted Leclerc at the wrong time, hesitated on tyre calls, and even instructed him to stay out after he had already entered the pit lane. As a result, he lost not only the lead, but also crucial track position to Sainz and Verstappen. He finished 4th. Again. The heartbreak of missing out on victory in Monaco, his home, had become a sad tradition for Leclerc, thanks to consistent strategy misfires from the team. From tactical turkeys to outright comedic car crashes, Ferrari's blooper reel is as long as its legacy is rich. Yes, we adore them. The team still has passionate fans and undeniable history, but it's hard not to laugh or cry at just how often they manage to shit the bed. Here's to hoping the next chapter is more checkered flag than face-palm moments from the red team in Maranello.